Hi, all of you wonderful, incredible, and limitless people. I have a very special guest today that I'm interviewing. His name is Dr. Gammy Urbi, and he is my personal dentist. I've known him for years, and he's done incredible work for me. And I just know that he has so many pearls of wisdom and keys to success. That's why I invited him here on the show. And he is an internationally board certified orthodontist. He is a dentist here in our area and a leading expert and owns clinics all through the Philippines. He's also a triathlete. He is a leader in his church community. He has a wonderful family, a wife and children that I've met, and I'm so happy to have Doc Irby on the show today. Okay, so welcome, Doc Irby. I'm so happy to have you on Limitless, and I know you've got amazing things to share with our audience today.
Thanks for having me, Amy. Thanks for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Well, just to start off, I've already introduced you a little bit, but tell us more about you and just a tiny bit of your background, where you came from.
Okay. Well, I would say most of my professional life, I work in Manila, studied in Manila, but I was born in this part of Mindanao. And after living in Metro Manila for 28 years, 10 years ago, I came back to Davao.
Okay.
For work and for, I would say, a better life. So it's one of the best decisions I made coming back to Davao.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think in an earlier conversation, you were telling me that you trained overseas as well. Did you live overseas in the U.S.?
Well, after graduation, I was a scholar. I stayed in Japan for a year, and then later on, I studied in Singapore for 2 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I spent a lot of time studying abroad.
And tell our audience what your specialty is.
So my specialty, well, first of all, I'm a dentist, but I'm kind of doing medical dentistry. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with airway dentistry. So it has a lot to do with your breathing, your sleep. So in the US now, they have this new emerging field, which is dental sleep medicine. So for you to be able to have good breathing, to result into good sleep, you have to do orthodontics. And that's what I do.
I see.
So orthodontics, not just for aesthetics, it's also for good health.
I see.
Good sleep, good breathing, good airway. So this is our sort of like our territory. And this is the entry point of air. So by doing that, you provide quality of life to your patients.
True. Wow. Okay. Are you the only dentist doing that in this area?
The only one in the Philippines.
In the Philippines? Wow.
Yeah, I'm one of the first in the Philippines. I'm the first to become a board certified in America on this field.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, that's very interesting. Though even though you've been my dentist for years,
You didn't know.
since I didn't have that particular issue. I didn't know that, and so that's wonderful to know. I knew that you're a top and leading dentist in the area and very respected and do so many different things. Like I said, I have personal experience with you, and then we've also, as Global Impact, have worked with your clinics to reach out and do some projects, which we'll talk about. But that's the premise of this show is breaking limitations, breaking barriers, going to next levels. Tell me a little bit about that. You've obviously broken a barrier if you're the first in your field and in your career, which fantastic. That's awesome. But tell us a little bit how you did that. Like, what went on in your mind? Did you ever feel like maybe you couldn't complete it and had to push through the failure? And give us some wisdom of keys from your success.
I'm 53 years old now. And one of my childhood dream is really to become a healer. Right? So, and doing routine dentistry, like treating cavities or aligning teeth, it's good work. It makes me feel fulfilled, but it feels like that I can still do more.
Right.
In terms of health.
Okay.
So that is why I pursued this field, which is airway dentistry because I know that I can help a lot of people deal with their own struggles or sickness, especially in, for example, I'm not sure if you're familiar with obstructive sleep apnea. OSA.
Actually, very familiar with that.
Yes. So I would say there are millions of people suffering from it,
That's right. Yeah.
but nobody can afford to actually buy or use a CPAP machine, right? So for me, we can provide a cheaper solution and equally effective,
Really?
which is a dental device.
Okay.
And also, I do a lot of it has a lot to do also with making patients realize their condition, like educating them, talking to them. That's where I find fulfillment. So this whole thing about breaking barriers in my professional life, I've always been amazed with like pushing myself to the limit every day. It's like I never could have probably live a fulfilled life if I would be very comfortable every day.
Well, tell me, how do you push yourself to the limit every day? Tell me about that.
Well, to be honest, Amy, it's a day-to-day decisions, the small decisions that you make every day, like starting your day with a prayer. Honestly, it's really very important to me because whenever I pray, I feel more confident that I could break barriers with that day.
True.
And
gives you the power.
Gives me the power and gives me peace of mind
in
my heart.
Yeah,
and
true.
Then,
power and peace.
Yes.
That's important to breaking barriers.
Yes.
Power and peace internally. Yes.
So I have to win the inner battle in myself.
There you go. That's a key.
To be able to do what I need to do for that day. And at the end of the day, I can say I've done it. Obviously, not just from my own strength, but from Him up there who gives Him strength every day. So the key is really, it's the choices you make every day.
I guess small ones too,
small
right?
Ones.
Small ones.
I would like to emphasize discipline.
Okay.
Because it has a lot to do with discipline. Like to pray or not to pray. It's a discipline. It's a decision you have to make to serve or not to serve, to take or give. It's all about discipline. So I guess overall that sums up how I handle.
Let me ask you. I don't know because I haven't asked you this before the interview, but do you have a morning routine?
Yes, I do.
Tell us
I
about
wake
it.
up as early as 5 in the morning.
Okay.
And I have my Bible right next to me.
Okay.
So I won't forget. So the first thing I do, I just
So the first thing you do is not look at your phone.
No. Really, seriously. I mean,
the first thing you do is look at your Bible, huh?
Honestly, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's always a difficult. You can always.
Well, it's so easy. I mean, I have to confess, I do that because also my alarm is on my phone. But it's one of the kind of worst habits that's out there is looking at your phone right away. Anyway.
So once I start holding my phone and opening it derails me.
Yeah.
Off. So it's a discipline. It's a choice.
Yeah, true.
But I have to use this one first. I mean, grab onto this because this is where I would be guided.
Yes.
That I need to do. I mean, it's not just breaking limits. It's about doing His will. And that makes more sense.
Right.
Than just breaking limits.
Yeah.
Breaking limits for Him.
Right. True.
So that's the one that's driving me every day.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just curious if it's okay. Can I ask you a bit more about your morning routine?
Oh, sorry. So I pray.
Yeah.
I spend 30-40 minutes praying. And then after that, I go out. I normally train because I'm a triathlete. I have to be doing this every morning.
Wow.
But sometimes, honestly, I have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So whenever I don't feel like it,
Uh-huh.
I just have to step back.
Okay.
And not do anything and prepare my mind.
Right.
I have to win the inner game, the mind first, before I could actually. Because what's the point of doing things if your mind is not into it?
Yeah.
Well, what's the point? Right? It has to be aligned. The inner game and your outer game. It has to be aligned. So yeah, that's what I do. I I train as much as I can every morning, and I do a lot of things like um, I read. I read every morning. I look at the news, and then I would say that the most important thing in my day every morning is really prayers. It's
Okay.
really the most important thing.
Awesome.
That's I most of the time I spend a lot of time praying.
Really, morning routines just sets our day, right? It sets our
Exactly.
day, so it's important. And that's another thing I want to ask you about is being a triathlete. That's incredible. Really, that you do that and that you say you train each day. But maybe tell me about one of uh, the contests that you've been in, or one of the marathons, or
Well, I've done a lot. I've lost count.
okay,
But one of the greatest things I have done is actually finish the Ironman in Florida.
wow,
It's one of the toughest.
I have all the respect for you. Wow,
So we're talking about 3.8 kilometers swim, 180 kilometers bike, and 42 kilometers run at the end. So I was able to finish it in less than 16 hours. I would say effortless, but at the end it was just right.
really,
And it was one of the toughest tests that I have to go through.
Mhm.
But before that, I had a local race that is more difficult because of the conditions that I had to go through. Um, it was one of those wrong decisions I made. After swimming for almost 2 hours and biking for almost 8 hours, it was my turn to run. And I used the wrong shoes.
Mm.
So I was using a shoe that is only good for 21 kilometers. At 21 kilometers to go,
Mm.
I had blisters all over
Oh wow,
my foot. It was like every strike,
oh my
it's
gosh,
like a pin and needles.
wow.
Can you imagine?
No, I
And I
cannot
still have
actually.
21 kilometers to go.
And you did it.
And I did it.
How did you do that? How did you set your mind to do that, or what? How do you push through that? That pain, the blisters, that challenge, the idea that
Exhaustion.
exhaustion. I made the wrong decision. I'm sure you were regretting the decision. Like
Yes.
in that
Yes.
moment, how do you do it?
You know, it was that, well, first of all, I did that in preparation for Florida because my ultimate goal is to finish in Florida,
Okay.
which is the big deal for me.
Mhm.
But I had to do this race first in locally, which is 2 months before Florida. So
Can I
I
just ask
was
you, is it harder here because it's more
hot.
it's more
It's
hot,
warm,
more humid than
more
Florida.
humid. Yes, Florida it was breeze,
That's why you
beautiful
trained here
roads.
and go there. Yeah,
So if I could finish
here.
here,
Mm,
and this is like very few of us who did it here because they know it's conditions are crazy.
tough. Yeah.
The
Mm,
swim is crazy.
mm,
The heat is terrible.
yeah.
And the it was rolling, 180 kilometers of. It's like Florida. It's straight flat.
Yeah. Okay.
It's rolling. So okay. So during that time that I was running, started to run, I feel good. But at 21 kilometers, as I said, I felt all the blisters and pain, and now it's all mine.
Yeah.
It's all in the mind. It's a mind game.
And so what tell me, what's the key? How did you do it? How?
Well,
Because I have to say, I have no relatability to this
Yes,
because
yes.
I'm just happy when I finish my 1 hour workout. And I'm in awe of people such as yourself that can complete this. And it really is, I know it's in the mind. So,
okay, good. So now starting to come back.
okay.
I was 50 years old
Okay.
when I did it. So it was sort of like a milestone for me,
Okay.
a trophy. And can I share about my health journey?
Sure.
Okay. So I've always been very success oriented, very driven. At the age of 40, I was diagnosed with um, it's a debilitating disease
Mm.
in my lungs.
Oh.
Okay. So I was given 5 years to live
Wow.
at 40,
Oh my
at the
goodness.
peak of my career.
Oh my goodness.
I was diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. My lungs was only 30% functional, 30%. And I was already taking steroids like crazy. So um, imagine if you have all this success with you and then suddenly this came to your life.
Right.
It's like sudden
Huge.
stop.
Yeah.
And then everything turning point.
Mm.
And I saw what's important to me.
Mm. Mm.
And I saw what value. Looking at the most painful part is when I look at my kids. They were still very young
Mm.
then, thinking I wouldn't be able to see them grow up. That's the most painful part.
Yeah.
I can, I've lived a good life, but I would miss those beautiful moments.
Mm.
So that pains me the most. And so I embarked on a sort of like it's a overhaul of my life,
Mm.
spiritually, physically. I had to shift to different routines. Before I was eating like so much junk.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I was smoking.
Oh, okay.
Smoking.
Oh.
So I had asthma attacks, but I was smoking,
Mm.
feeling invincible.
Mm.
And then, so short of saying that, it was a pruning moment for me. So in one period of time I was really down, could not breathe. You know how difficult the sickness is. It's like it's like COVID. There's a large stone here, you can't breathe. 30% functional. No treatment. You will just die slowly.
Wow.
At 40.
That's horrible.
At 40.
You felt like you're suffocating then, huh? Oh, like
Can't
oh my
breathe. So you have to use oxygen and you have to use
Wow.
all the steroids. So in one of my prayer time, I was talking to the Lord and I felt His grace.
Mm.
It's-
Mm.
and at that point, I knew that He's doing something.
Mm.
And that was the start.
Oh. Oh.
And 3 months after, I went back to my doctor
Mm.
for my regular checkup.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? 100%
Healed.
healed. The
Wow.
doctor could not explain.
Wow.
They could not. I mean, medically, it's impossible.
It's a true miracle.
It's a miracle. I'm a walking miracle.
Wow.
And then I changed my life, everything. I know that I owe Him
Mm.
this new life.
Mm.
So I have to do everything
Mm.
for Him.
Mm. You weren't living like that before?
I was a devout Christian, but I was more driven for myself.
I see. That's what shifted. Mm.
Turning point.
Yeah.
I guess that's what the Lord wants me to do. That's my mission. That's why He gave me the second chance.
Yeah.
So going back.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I look back.
Wow.
That pushes me,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the pain.
Oh. Wow.
Because if He has done this for me before, I can do this.
Wow.
So those pain that I go through, I give back.
Mm.
And remembering, this may sound cliche, but those pain that He went through in the cross,
Yes.
I would like to take part.
Mm.
So that's what I did. Pray
Mm.
as I run
Mm.
21 kilometers. And finishing it, I was surprised. I was the third. And
Third. Third.
because in my age group, there were only 8 of us,
Oh my.
and 4 didn't make it.
Wow.
So I was the third.
Uh-huh.
I got the third place. So it was a bonus. And when I share about this to others, I freely share about this because it could be a game changer for others.
Yes.
My experiences,
Mm-hmm.
all these things that I went through,
Mm-hmm.
others could actually be inspired.
Yes. That's
And
why I appreciate you being here, because I believe
Yes.
we can always learn from and be inspired and empowered by other
Empowered.
people's journey, their testimony, what's happened. So I really appreciate that you share this with us.
So whatever I do, like Ironman, I mean, those medals, yeah, they're special. They mean a lot, but it's really more of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's the experiences that you take on every day
Mm,
that molds you into who you are.
right.
To be more compassionate,
Mm-hmm.
to be more sensitive to others,
Mm,
and to have a heart
mm.
for others. So that is my Ironman journey.
Wow.
That is my triathlete. That's why I do triathlon for all these things that to experience.
Mm. Wow. Incredible. What are the barriers that you had to
Okay.
cross
Yes.
to achieve what you've achieved?
Yes.
Because, of course, I know when you're the top in something and the first to do it,
Mm.
there's always things to overcome,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So otherwise, everybody would do it.
Yes, exactly. So okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, by the way, since we're talking about breakthroughs, breaking barriers, COVID
Mm,
2020, it's very hard for us. We are the highest risk.
mm.
We are the highest risk. We're like 6 inches away.
Yeah, true. In being a dentist,
As a dentist.
yeah, with
As
the
a dentist,
patients and
with
just
patients, so
the
So,
closeness with everyone
yes.
and the potential to get it.
potential to get it.
Yeah,
So we're the highest risk
Mm.
among all.
really.
So naturally, you would be intimidated.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of people giving up their practice. Giving up, like pulled up.
Mm.
This biggest chain of clinics in the Philippines, they had 20 plus,
Mhm.
18 pulled up.
Wow.
So like everyone's like closing down.
And it's true too, because people didn't want to go to the dentist
nobody
either,
wanted.
right?
So-
that
so
just that
The
industry
business,
just
the industry
closing.
just
Yeah.
collapsed.
Mm.
And it never crossed my mind.
Mm.
So every day I was trying my best to find a way how to look at opportunities in this crisis that we have. So
I like that.
look
Sorry,
at-
I just like that term. I want to pick up on that. Opportunities even in the midst of crisis,
Crisis.
right? Yeah. Because we can approach crisis so many ways. Just be defeated by it,
yes,
or we can
Or-
say, okay, we can feel bad for a while, but then start to look for
Look
the
for
opportunity.
the opportunity.
Yeah. So,
So I never stopped looking for opportunities.
Mm.
So I don't know. It seems like initially it was hard. But I got excited in a way.
mhm.
I know that there is a way out of this. So the first thing I did, I was actually one of those who first came up with a guideline or protocol of how dentistry should be practiced.
Okay.
And I submitted that paper, and it was published. So that's the first barrier that I broke.
Mm.
Secondly, dentistry or medicine will never be the same again after COVID.
Mm.
So, dentistry and medicine will never be the same after COVID. So, what I did, so since all these clinics were closing, I had to take over one of the clinics that has closed and redesign it to be COVID proof.
Mm.
Okay, so
This is the clinic I've been to?
yes.
Okay. It's very clean, very pristine, very lot of procedures.
Yes. People were asking, why are you opening? Well, in fact, everyone is closing. This was April. But I said, hey, this is an opportunity to make a difference in our field. I want to set the benchmark. I want people to see how it should be done. So I took the lead and spent, invested a lot of my resources, all of my resources, against all odds.
I see. Wow.
To put up the first of its kind in this part of our country, which is what you were in.
Yeah.
And it's a breakthrough. It's a breakthrough,
Wow.
and thank God.
Yeah.
Everything is so far so good.
Awesome.
We are inviting people who have comorbidities, who cannot go to hospitals, and we treat them there because they feel safe.
Okay. That's awesome. So I'll just take this opportunity actually to let our local audience know that, and to put the word out that so if there's comorbidities is the term, right? Yeah, and so they need extra care, carefulness, safety, right?
Yes, and no contamination.
Yeah, in dentistry work. And so, do you want to go ahead and share where the clinic is?
Okay, so we're at Abrisa, at the downtown, and we're at the second floor. So my other clinic is Green Apple. I own chain of clinics all over the Philippines, but I have my own brand. This is where you were at that second floor, which is Urbidontics.
Urbidontics, yeah.
It's a breakthrough because I never wanted to use my name.
Okay.
But now I want to own it.
I see.
So it's very special. COVID has brought us a lot of blessings. Difficulties, don't get me wrong. I don't want to minimize the fact that it's hard for others.
Yeah.
But for me, it has been, in a way, an opportunity to do better. And again, break barriers.
Yes.
Here's another thing I want to share with you is that I mentioned that I am a diplomate of the American Board.
I don't think so.
I'm a diplomate of the American Board of Dental Sleep Medicine.
Oh, maybe you did say that earlier.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Re-emphasize it to everybody.
So, while everyone is in lockdown, I was studying.
Oh, okay.
And miraculously, I passed during COVID. So it's a dream come true for me. And while everyone was busy Netflixing or doing nothing, I was busy,
improving yourself,
improving myself,
growing.
Wow. I didn't want to waste time.
Yeah, that's great.
So
I love it. And I just want to reemphasize this and to all of us, because this idea of looking for opportunity within crisis, I think it's so important because we can, I'm a big believer in not just trying to push away negative emotion. Like, let's go ahead and if we're going to feel bad for a while, let's go ahead and feel it, acknowledge our emotion, acknowledge that it's disappointing, and, but let's not just sit in that emotion. Let's process it out and then begin to look for where is the opportunity. And so you said, two things. You were able to actually advance your career, not just your career, but advance your service to people, actually. Awesome. And second of all, I love that you took it as an opportunity to grow, right? And I believe we can all do that, no matter what our crisis, no matter what our challenge. I have another message I speak on. It's called Triggers Are Growing Opportunities. But I guess we could also say crisis or challenge can be a growing opportunity. It all depends on our outlook. So I love how you've shared from your own life, and let that be an encouragement just to everybody that no matter what's happening, look for the growth opportunity. And it really reminds me are you familiar with Michael Hyatt? He's a teacher. He's somebody I love to follow and learn from, and he's a top business leader, empowerment, coach. And he tells a story about how years ago he was going down his steps and he fell and he broke his foot, or he broke something, and he was so disappointed because he had all these things that had to cancel. He's a public speaker and so many things, but yet that fall down the stairs actually led him to a time in bed where he had to, just rest. He was forced to rest, but he started writing and he started blogging, and now he has a whole career around that and helps so many people. But it was actually the fall down the steps. Not that we have to wait for those things. Like, I think we also have to be sensitive to God. If he's leading us in a direction, let's not wait for a crisis to have to do it. But if something happens in our life, or if it's COVID, or it's, other challenges that are happening in the world or in our personal lives, take the opportunity to grow from it, which is exactly what you've done. Awesome. This is great. Thank you for so many keys of breaking limitation, continuing, mind management. Just one last thing as we wrap up this interview. I'm so thankful that you have a heart of service, of bringing excellent care to people, as you've expressed. But in that too, you have a heart to help those that maybe couldn't afford your care at times. And we as Global Impact have worked with you in that. Right. And I just want to say to you, thank you in the interview here. Yes. And I look forward to more projects like that. More projects. And we will show you later. We're going to feature a project that we've done together with a gentleman that had very, very bad teeth. It impacted his confidence and the way he ate and so many things. And he's truly had a life transformation through it. So that's coming. We'll have that on another video, but I just want to say thank you and just share with us the importance for you of that kind of work in the midst of your career and life, doing that for people. Why is that important to you?
Well, to be honest, at this time, we need people to hope that there is hope in humanity. That everything is not gone.
Yeah, true.
And COVID is not the end. And when you have this kind of mindset, everything will go well, and that hopeful, attitude in life, you will survive this COVID. You will not only survive, you will grow.
Yeah.
And when you look back,
when
you look back 10 years, 20 years from now, I can say to probably my grandchildren, we have stood our ground.
Yeah.
We did our part during this darkest
time
in our history, like you are doing your part. You can look back and look forward to brighter opportunities and better future.
Bring hope to others. And it doesn't always have to be the masses. It's one life at a time. That's right. And we all have the opportunity to do something for somebody else. I love it because earlier I heard you talking and you told somebody, just pay it forward. Just pay it forward, So what we've received, you don't know this, but I have a theme over the years. It's called the ripple effect. And I even have a ring, which I don't have on, but it symbolizes the ripple effect. And so what we've received in our life, the freedom, the peace, the hope, that we should always give it on to others. And then as we give it to them, there's this continual ripple effect of change and of goodness and of greatness. So let's be the people that bring hope and cause the good ripple effect in lives. Doc, thank you so much for being with us on Limitless. And I'm so appreciative. And I know all of you out there have learned, have been inspired, and can take this testimony and this journey, just a piece of it. I'm sure there's so many more things, but just some of those things that you've shared with us. And I encourage you to apply it to your life. One of the keys to living limitless is not just to know something, but to apply it. It's application. And even if you mess up for a little bit, get back up and keep on going and make sure that your mind is in the right place and you can do it. Okay. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
That was a wonderful interview with Dr. Irby, and just so many different things, as I just said, that we can apply to our life. So take them, make some notes, and get up in the morning and start your morning routine with prayer, with the Word of God, not with your phone. I'm talking to myself too. Set your mind right for the day. Get that peace and that power, and just so many other things that he shared with us. I want to encourage all of you that no matter what's going on, there is opportunity for growth and that you can live a limitless life. I love you all, and God bless.